Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. This is a demonstration of my personal project FindMy web service. This video will briefly introduce how to install the project, its dependencies, and also how to use the APIs. One of the dependencies is to calculate the OTP code for Apple, and this is another GitHub project I recommend you to install by deploying their Docker image. The installation guide has been provided by the Docker official. Please refer to the installation manuals. Once the Docker service is up, you can copy the command and install the Docker container. After the container is deployed, you can use curl or other commands to determine whether it is actually started. Once you curl from this specific port, there is supposed to be a 200 status code in return. I strongly recommend you to install Python requirements into a virtual environment. In this case, this project's requirement will not conflict with other projects, neither interrupt with the system's dependencies. To create a new virtual environment, you can use the command shown on the screen. After the virtual environment has been set up, you can use the other line of the code to activate it. You will need to ensure there is a prefix in your command line. venv represents virtual environment. After having this prefix, you can install Python dependencies with Python module pip or pip3. All the installation of those requirements will be placed under the virtual environment directory. Once those requirements are installed, you can now execute the scripts. You can use generate keys script to generate one or many pair of private key, public key, and hashed public key. If you have generated keys and deployed to your devices, then you can use request report script to automatically grab the reports from Apple. If your key were generated by other projects like OpenHaystack, then I recommend you to export those keys and set up the web service. For security consideration, this web service will only listen on the local host. So if you want to expose this service to allow LAN access or internet access, then you will need to change the binding address accordingly. The web service has been configured to only output error messages, so there will be very limited logs printed by default, which protects the privacy of the potential users. To access the API document and the playground, you will either to use the /doc or /redoc. Those documents will explain the usage of each API. Because this project is currently under development, so the API could be changed over time. To use the single device encrypt reports, you will need to provide a hashed advertisement key. This API will try to retrieve the report for this hashed advertisement key, and if the report is none, then it will return an empty list. On the contrary, if there are reports for this hash advertisement key, then you can see the return response contains an encrypted payload. In case of you have multiple devices, you could use the next API, which is the multiple device encrypted reports. You can enter multiple hash advertisement key, separate them by comma. You could use the built-in function of this web service to decrypt those reports. It's very important to know you shall never provide your private key to any third-party website. You shall only use this feature when you are the host of this web service. Because if you have leaked your private keys, then people who have these private keys can decrypt your directories. You could save your private key into database for future use, but as mentioned, private key and user password are secrets. You shall never provide it to any third-party website. As the variable name says, the encrypted underlying username and underlying password are used for authenticate with the MQTT broker. The payload encryption feature is currently under development, and before that feature is developed and enabled in your environment, I strongly recommend you to set up your own MQTT broker and use your personal broker. To remove any existence reports and keys, you can enter private key, public key, or a hashed public key. The API will search any existence of those keys and remove the relevant records. This is the end of this demonstration. Thank you for watching.